Are you ready to talk about how to market life insurance on social media? Here's the truth. Most of your peers are doing it wrong. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to get more likes and comments on social media as well as more referrals. Let's go. Do you want to avoid a huge mistake that your peers are making on social media right now? I'm going to help you uncover the best and most convincing thing you can post on social media to get more results and referrals. Let's get started. I need you to go back into your memory. Go ahead, close your eyes, and I want you to think of a time that you were on Facebook and you heard about some type of horrible tragedy. Maybe someone passed away in an accident or just something horrible happened. I'm willing to bet that there was some point in time where that happened and you looked on social media and there was somebody who managed to shame the family for setting up a GoFundMe because they didn't have life insurance. My friends, those life insurance agents are doing it wrong. I see it all the time, where every time you turn around, someone's saying, oh, people shouldn't have to sell fish dinners to pay for your funeral, or people raising money for you after you die. This is a shame. Don't be this person over here from this news story. Ask yourself a question. When was the last time that you were convinced to do business with someone after watching them shame someone who is going through a tragedy? The answer, absolutely never. And so what we want to do is avoid that entire technique because it does not work. In fact, it makes the insurance agent look kind of yucky and like they're lacking in empathy. We don't have to go low. We can go high on this one. So that's what we're going to focus on right now. Here's the million-dollar question. What does convince you? What makes compelling evidence that you need to shift how you're thinking about a thing? Think of a time in your life where maybe you didn't believe in having certain types of insurance, or you didn't think it was necessary to get this type of qualification or do whatever thing. And let's say that now you've reversed course. What actually caused you to reverse course? Was it a reality check where you bumped your head and realized, oh, I should have this thing? Was it watching someone else of the same mindset go through something similar and it not work out for them? Let's put a pin in that as we think about what caused you to change your mind. While we put a pin in that, I am curious to know though, what is the strangest thing that you've ever seen someone post on social media as they were trying to advertise life insurance? Go ahead and share it in the comments. I'm just curious to see what you've seen, because at least once a week I see something horrible and occasionally I see something funny and crazy. So what are you seeing out there? All right. So let's take that pin out of the thing that changed your mind. Now, it could have been personal experience, it could have been maturity, but oftentimes what changes our minds are stories. Success stories. We want to be like this person. Okay, so maybe this person who was an educator wasn't a millionaire, a million times over, but maybe they bought this amazing life insurance policy, and when they passed away from cancer at a certain age, they left their family not only in a good condition, but they had enough of a policy where their expenses were paid for, their mate was able to pay off the house, their children all had their education taken care of. Whatever that is, we saw a story and we thought to ourselves, oh wow, I should be more like that. Or, that was heartwarming. This is sad, but it makes me want to follow in those footsteps. One of the best things you can do to market life insurance is sharing success stories. And really that's any type of insurance. If someone lost their home in a flood, but they had flood insurance, and so you had this person talking about what it meant to them, how much of the stress it took off of them knowing that their home would be rebuilt, knowing that they had this policy. If you had people that had business interruption insurance and something happened where their business couldn't operate, but having that insurance kept them from having to shutter the doors on their family-owned business that's been open for 100 years. When we see these types of stories, it touches something in our hearts. It doesn't shame us. It doesn't make us look at other people and say, oh, how stupid, but it causes us to aspire to want to be better. So one of the best things you can do is start to collect the success stories of your existing clients and customers, and then asking them if you can share those stories, either with or without their names. Some of them will be willing to let you video them, or will send in their own video sharing their own testimony about the insurance that you sold them. Because what we know is insurance is very different than many other types of services. You're selling a promise. And so when you're sharing these stories, people are sharing how you and your organization make good on that promise. And it doesn't just impact the people with the policy. It impacts so many other people around them, family, sometimes friends, sometimes even community. You know, when I think about life insurance, it reminds me of a personal story. I have a family member who passed away when their children were very, very young. And the children really didn't have much of a memory of this parent. However, when those children got to be older, life got a little hard. They started having some of their own difficulties financing college. One of them had health issues. And then lo and behold, this policy had been uncovered that paid off when they turned 18. And so the impact that that had on their educational options as well as one of their health was massive. And so sharing stories like that makes other people willing to think about usually the things that are unthinkable. Most people don't want to think about their own deaths. They certainly don't want to think about their untimely deaths. However, if you can help them think about the fact that one of the most caring acts they can do is put things in motion that will take care of their families for years, sometimes even generations to come, that paints a different picture. Now they're not focusing on their death, they're focusing on their legacy. That's what life insurance is about. And that should be the central message. You can even talk about what life insurance has funded by way of the dreams of their offspring or the dreams of their mates. Of course, they would all rather have the person there. But what if it enabled someone to go to college and be the first in their family? What if it enabled someone to start a family business? What if it enabled someone to get their own children, the grandchildren of the deceased, that important medical care that was life-saving, that without that care, they would have never made it? These are the stories that connect with people. This is the angle that we should take rather than trying to shame people after a fact. In addition to sharing stories, make sure that you share how affordable life insurance is. Many of the people who do not have life insurance think that it's much more expensive than what it is. And so breaking it down to what it compares to in terms of their daily habits, is it a cup of coffee? Does it equate to, a fraction of the amount of money that they spend on gas or whatever else it is? Help them understand that not only is this affordable, it's one of the most affordable ways to leave a legacy to your family. Even if things happen in life where other types of assets go away, the family can lean on life insurance. Again, make sure that you're underlying the affordability of this aspect of their legacy. The last thing I encourage you to do is to share calls to action. Encourage people. Give me a call today to discuss your options. Click here to set up a 15-minute espresso chat, not coffee chat. Coffee chat's longer, but let them know in just 15 minutes, I can review your situation and make some recommendations to you. Make it feel easy, but ask people for their business. Ask people to fill out that form or give you a call or do whatever it is that they're comfortable with, getting the information from you that they need to make an informed decision. Speaking of informed decisions, one of the things that life insurance does is it allows people to plan for the future and the unexpected. I have a free gift for you that will help you with the same thing. You'll notice under the description of this video, there's a link to my Future Ready Playbook. This playbook is going to help you with activities as well as forms to have you think a little bit more strategically about how you're planning for the future for yourself or your organization. Make sure you download it today.